everybody, it is Quicken and welcome back to 5 Fact Friday. So 5 Fact Friday was actually filmed for the most part and scheduled for this previous Friday, and I just lost the light. I ran out of natural light. We actually had a ton of house guests and I just didn't have a ton of time to be by myself to film, explain why I was filming. At this point everyone I know basically knows that I'm a YouTuber, but a lot of people don't really know what that goes into or what goes into that. This last weekend was our, I guess, not final memorial, I don't really know. It was an additional memorial for Ryan. We had a big dinner in his honor, and then we had a lantern lighting ceremony afterwards. So a couple people came to stay from out of town and stuff. And not only is that emotionally exhausting, but physically exhausting as well, to just host people and make sure everybody's accommodated, but also, I don't know, do your job on YouTube. And it was also Melina and Josie's birthday, so we all went axe throwing. It was kind of a lot of stuff happening all at once. You're like, oh my god, honor Ryan, oh my god, honor Josie, oh my god, honor Melina. Meanwhile, people are staying at your house and sleeping in your bed and shit. So here is 5 Fact Friday, take 2. And thank you guys so much for submitting questions. I take a lot of questions on Twitter. These days, Twitter is really easy to navigate. You can always leave comments in the comment section down below as well. You guys are a pretty chill, tight-knit community, so I would say always leave your feedback in the comments, because I see you guys interact with each other and follow one another and lend each other advice, and I think we're all on a very chill wavelength, so I'm always very thankful that this comment section can be a safe place for all of us. So I went to jump in, and I really love this question. It says, do you have any guilty pleasure shows or music? And I think my biggest guilty pleasure is HGTV, the Home and Garden Network. HGTV, if you don't know, there's this one show on there specifically called Flip or Flop. A few years ago, I have a vlog. We went to the Poconos. My grandparents sent us there for my birthday. And John got food poisoning, and I just ended up watching cable the whole time. And this terrible show called Flip or Flop was on. And it's a couple, and they buy just old houses, old dated houses, I don't know, wallpaper from the 70s kind of houses, and they modernize them. They put a brand new kitchen and bathroom in them and then sell them. And in between there's a reality TV aspect, so they insert drama in there. It's so good. It's eating ice cream straight out of the container. I love it. The couple, I don't know, I heckle this show. It's honestly my therapy. If I can sit down and watch 3 episodes of Flip or Flop and something terrible happens in the episodes, I'm oh my god, I can live another day. There is an episode, I'm dead serious. There's an episode where someone steals their car and they do not address it. They, it's the whole thing where, the camera crew runs outside. So the angle's oh no, it's running. Come outside. They had left the keys in the ignition of the car, and so someone walking by stole it. They're someone stole my car. Commercial break, next frame. What kind of backsplash are we using for this kitchen? I swear they do not address it ever again. It's such a good show. A few nights ago, I started watching, Container Homes, which I think is another HGTV show. House Hunters International. I swear, I have never been more riled up for a show. I heckle the fuck out of that show. Good thing there is not a comment section online, because the producers would be wow, that is specifically cruel. And there's an episode where an American family moves to a foreign country, and the mom wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and they're looking at houses, and she's this oven is not big enough for Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm at home and I'm 'cause you're in Europe! It's so good. Ooh. As for guilty pleasure music, Like, I love a good sing-along on, like, a road trip. Like, ideally, if we could put on Fall Out Boy and just, like, drive 1.5 hours somewhere, I'm good. You want to put on The Used, I'm so good. Like, any sort of, like, emo sing-along music is not even a guilty pleasure, because I'm putting it out there. I want to relate to you, and I want to scream at the top of my lungs every single lyric. So this question is from Twitter, and it says, don't know if it's too late, but I'm wondering if you'll be setting up a filming area anytime soon. I miss your wall display, pictures, banners, pins, badges, flash, etc. So I'm really happy to answer this question. Right now I am in like my office, my room, my filming room kind of area in the new house. And we filmed, and I don't know if there's interest for it, but before like I lived here, this was just an empty back room with no floor. The walls weren't finished. The ceiling, fixtures, windows, like this was kind of the like forgotten room in the house. So I was able to get footage, and I like interviewed John and stuff and did document the progression of this room. But I was like, if that's just for me, that's just for me. But now that I'm a little more settled, like officially everything is out of my apartment except for like a Swiffer mop and a radio. I do want to sit down and like start setting up this room. I would love to do it like more officially, so like in my old apartment, because I was renting, you know, I like talked about having a gallery wall and like went to AC Moore and like bought all the things I needed for a gallery wall, like did all the measurements and everything. But because it was around November and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to renew my lease. I don't know how much damage I want to do to the apartment. Like, if I knew I was going to live there for like 3 years, yeah, probably you're not getting your security deposit back. But I was really unsure. So now that I live here and I feel a lot more comfortable making changes to this room, and because I've been given the go-ahead, I'm really excited to turn this into like a very functioning space. Although right now you might see that there are like some boxes and things like that. I have not like really unpacked anything. I've only like organized the boxes I have so that in the meantime I can film in here and make content before I like sit down and really figure out what I want. I definitely want like a clothing rack in here, I feel like. And I will be hanging up my photos, which is amazing because at my other apartment, I had like some posters up and some Christmas lights up, but I never like made an entire gallery wall because I was like, I don't know where my landlord got this canary yellow, but if I make a hole in the wall, I don't know if I can patch it. And as far as that goes, I did like an amazing clean out of the apartment. I spent 2 days doing a deep clean. And I haven't heard anything back about getting my security deposit back, but I'm not super worried about it. I like kind of put my feelers out with like my friends and family, and it sounds like I would get it back. But I've heard people say like it took me 4 months to get that check in the mail. I've heard like that story, which is cool because I'd love to bring that money and like bring it into this room because I did like help pay for the things that needed to like make this room work. I do need a light fixture, so if you have like a really cool light fixture, maybe you ordered recently like from online, I'd love to know. I was at Lowe's and Home Depot and didn't really find anything that spoke to me. I definitely found some really cool ones for like our kitchen, and John actually just refurbished this like chandelier I think he found. He like bought a whole like wire kit and everything, and I just came home and he's like, yeah, I rebuilt that chandelier. And I was like, that's cool. I ate pizza today, but you rebuilt a chandelier. So so far for this filming space, like this is a beautiful room with 3 windows that are facing a great direction. I don't know where I am, but this like room has so much potential and it's very, very inspiring. You might know from my old apartment that most of my apartment faced a brick wall, and then I had one window in the back of the apartment that shined light in. So because of that, there was like a lot of limiting factors with filming. And then, you know, if you set the light up behind the shining window, like that creates weird lighting as well. And I just like have really good feelings about this room. So I hope to like make a whole video about maybe decorating it, thinking critically about it, like taking a day to just like figure out the design of this room, watch a few episodes of Flip or Flop and get inspired. But yeah, feel free to, I guess, involve yourself at all in this process. Like, I definitely do want to look up light fixtures. I was looking at ones from like Urban Outfitters and things like that, and I don't think I want like a bitchy light fixture, but right now it's just like a light bulb hanging. What I really like the most about the process of this house though is it's like a slow process, but when like something gets achieved, it's cool. Like, yeah, there's a dangling light bulb right now, but I don't feel anything about it. So this says, what's your favorite way to cheer yourself up if you're in a funk or not feeling creative? And this is a pretty difficult question that I definitely don't have a like A, B, C answer to. But I feel like there's always a ton of stuff I should do, and I like reserve myself and don't end up doing them. And they're definitely not like pressing things, but little things. And I feel like if I'm in true funk, or if I wake up and like the things I need to do that day I just like can't do for some reason, I think one of the number one things I do is like I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch some of my favorite YouTubers while I drink a cup of coffee. And sometimes like just watching a Nicole Guerrero video just like gets me going for the day. And I can't explain why. Other than that, I love like running errands, but I'm also like cheap. And before you're like, how could you be cheap? You bought XYZ. Like, that's definitely an opinion based on your personal experience. And in my life, like there's a ton of things I won't buy for myself for no reason. So it's cool to run errands and like go downtown and like buy myself new shampoo, or like go to Lush and pick up the things I needed because I've been scraping the bottom of the bottle for a long time. Oh, it's John. Hello? Or like I'll go to the grocery store and instead of buying the like couple things I always get, I'll get like one nice thing, or I'll get like an ice cream or something like that. Like a little out of my normal budget. I'll push myself, but my budget is like just for no reason restrictive. You know what I mean? Like obviously we should budget, but I'll kind of just like restrict myself in those ways. So whenever I'm feeling down, like treat yourself is definitely like a motto, like cliche or whatever, is something I do. Over the summer and like the last couple months, I kind of told you guys that I stopped going shopping, and I definitely try to like shop my own closet, or like borrow things from my friends. So the times I do go shopping are always like kind of cool. I'm someone who does like to like shop the aisles. Like if I go to Target, I like to just be there. I like to just look at everything and either get inspired or I think there's like this video where me, Angela, and Kelsey all go to Topshop, and I like pull over and I'm like, I don't need any of this stuff. I already own it all. I definitely do like to like go downtown, take myself shopping, because I definitely don't do stuff like that super often. So I like when it's on reserve. That can cheer me up. That can get me inspired. When we went to Topshop, I felt really inspired and didn't spend too much money. There's always little things I like to do, but I limit myself to do them, but for no like real apparent reason. Leaving my neighborhood all the time. Like I never like used to leave my neighborhood, so when I would like go downtown, that was always cool. But I love treating myself to a cup of coffee and like sitting down. I love taking the train and like hearing other people talk. It's definitely just pushing myself to do the thing, and then I like instantly become inspired. I don't know if that answers the question like super well, but I can always kind of cheer myself up in that aspect, especially if I'm like, when I'm in the place where I am feeling uninspired or I am feeling sad, leaving is the best thing to do. Like I said, a bunch of people are staying here, and the other night I just got really overwhelmed, and I was like, I know my relationship with Ryan, and I know how I'm grieving, but it's separate from everyone else because everyone had their own individual experiences and relationships with Ryan. So I just felt like, one, like, be strong for all your friends, and two, like, I'm sad in a way I can't explain or express myself because other people can't relate. I went on a walk the other night, and it was really, really amazing. Like, I know it's cliche almost. I feel like you hear people who are like, sometimes I get in an argument and I just have to walk it off. I just have to blow off steam. While I was on my walk, I was like, this is cliche. But then it was like perfect. I was like, any argument or any raw feeling I feel like could be like completely solved by taking a nice walk and exploring something you don't know. Like, I'm exploring this new neighborhood. I lived in my other neighborhood for so many years. I knew like all the nooks and crannies and flowers and cracks in the sidewalks and little places to hide. Now I'm kind of like, okay, fish out of water, but I'm using my brain and it feels good. So I'm going to end the episode with this, and this says, tips for maintaining old relationships as we grow up. College senior right here, and life is about to get crazy. And I'm going to end the episode with this one because I do have to go to my P.O. box today, and I know that it's going to close soon. So, tips for maintaining old relationships. Not that I get asked this question a lot, but it is something that you flirt with often, especially because, like, in the last, 5 years, I have met so many new people, and then the people from, my high school and stuff, they kind of just, don't match up anymore. And I know it sounds cruel, so it's this concept that I think about all the time. But what I always come back to is that I had a friend from high school, and we were all really close, knew each other from middle school, all grew up in, a very alternative crowd. So I always felt really close to her because we had so many memories together. But when we graduated, she decided to be, a homemaker, just stay at home. And I couldn't really... Is there a duck outside? I couldn't really relate to that. I was like, one, I can't be a homemaker. I have to support myself. And I have to travel and find out where I belong. And I have to work all these jobs to find out which one works. And, I have to go to college to realize I don't want to be in college. All these other things. And at the same time, stay out all night. Or, take a train to nowhere and, travel on a whim. Meet a Tumblr friend. Make mistakes. Drink and party or not. Not that I'm a partier, but, all of those life experiences brought me to the people I get along with the most right now. And I just always felt like the only thing we ever had was the experiences we had as kids. But the experiences I have as a kid, don't really define me anymore. They, just help me express empathy towards people in similar situations. But I can relate to you guys who are in high school, but only because I already did it. Now I have all these other life experiences in between. So that's why I feel like it's really unique when you meet someone in college. And I sat next to this one girl who I loved. She had to get credits in my major, so I would run into her all the time, and she was so cool. I don't even follow her on Instagram or anything because it was kind of a reflection of two people who grew apart, but when they were both put in the same circumstances, they thrived together. Coworkers is a great example of this too. I've had so many chill ass coworkers that I don't keep up with anymore, and it's just because I keep manifesting and I keep turning into a different person. Not a fake person, but when I knew I had to go to beauty school, I just had to go. And now I don't keep up with a ton of the people from my beauty school anymore because they had to go a different direction as well. And that's definitely difficult. But I also have my whole life best friend, and we don't see each other as often as I'd like, but we still have like a really nice core relationship. And I think it's because I give her space. And like, I never make her feel guilty that we're not hanging out. She never makes me feel guilty if I have to cancel plans. Like, she never makes me feel guilty if I don't talk to her for like 3 weeks. I follow her on Instagram and feel satiated that I know that she's safe and like up to good things and into good habits and like having a nice beer or going to see a wrestling match or something. Like, I feel good thinking about that, but she definitely gives me like a ton of leniency. And we grew up together and she still has never made me feel guilty, and I've never made her feel guilty about like not calling her back, or like we could text all day and then just like end and like it just ends. I know this sounded like all over the place, but like I have core relationships that work like that. And then I had other relationships that only worked because they were constantly stimulated. Like, you constantly see your coworkers and that's why you get along. If it doesn't like stay flourishing, kind of diminishes, then like that's totally okay. I think it's like a good exercise of self to know that you can get along with the people you meet. Like, everyone I get along with isn't necessarily my friend, but I do feel like proud of myself, because when I was in high school, I wouldn't talk to a stranger. If I was sitting next to somebody, I'd be like, don't look at my stuff. Now, I can go to like a party from Barnett Fair, or like meet someone for the first time, meet like one of the girls' like boyfriends or their friends, and be able to conversate and have a healthy communication with them and like go home. Maybe that's like what getting older is like, and like exercising and ebbing and flowing out of these relationships until you just become like a relatable like person, so you can just meet people and talk to them and be human with them. I don't know. I definitely do not beat myself up about the people I can't keep in contact with anymore. And there are people who have left my life because they weren't interested in what I do anymore. Like, I may have said this before, but like, I had 2 friends that I was close with, like, especially when I was like in my early 20s and punk and broke and living like on West Philly and like just doing the damn thing. When I became a YouTuber, they were just like, that's corny. And that was painful, but if I would have waited around for them to like this kind of shit I was into, I wouldn't be able to be here. So I guess what I'm saying is like, be cool, be relatable, and like figure out how to communicate with the people in your life. And there's nothing wrong with talking to somebody all night at a party and then going home and like not keeping up with them. Sitting next to somebody in beauty school for 2 years and loving them and loving the love they gave you back, and then just like taking that with you and continuing in your life. Social media gives us this idea that we should all stay connected, but maybe just like sitting next to somebody on the bus one time and not learning their name and taking something from them is healthy and cool and humanizing. So I don't beat myself up about it. My friends that aren't like me anymore, I can't really keep up with because we don't have anything in common. And if you don't want to grow with me or accept me, then yeah, that was all over the place. But I wanted to end the episode with that just because I wanted to kind of hear what you have to think. I am 27, so I feel like that experience might be a little unique to like my age bracket, because in high school I knew the people from my hometown and like that was kind of it. So let me know how you feel. Is it something you're experiencing with or without social media? I'd love to know. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out and submitting questions for 5 Fact Friday. And yeah, until next time. Bye.